Long before the maps of outsiders carved the continent into borders, there was a kingdom known as Zaranda, a land where the earth glowed red beneath the sun and the rivers carried stories as much as water. Zaranda stretched from vast golden savannas to deep emerald forests. At its heart stood the city of Ilumara, built of clay and stone, crowned with towering baobab trees older than memory itself. The people believed these trees whispered wisdom to those patient enough to listen. The kingdom was ruled by Queen Nolia, a woman whose voice was as calm as the river at dawn and as fierce as thunder in the rainy season. She had not inherited the throne easily. Her rise had been marked by trials that tested not only her strength, but her spirit. The drum that spoke. In Zaranda, drums were not just instruments, they were messengers. From village to village, across hills and valleys, the great talking drums carried news. A skilled drummer could send a message miles away, each beat shaped like words in the air. One evening, as the sky burned orange and purple, a strange rhythm echoed into Ilumara. Dum, dum, da. Dum, da, dum. The court drummers froze. That is no greeting, one whispered. Queen Nolia stood from her carved wooden throne. What does it say? The eldest drummer bowed. It speaks of shadows, moving in the northern forest. Villages gone silent. The court murmured with unease. Zaranda had known peace for many seasons. But peace, the queen knew, was like the calm surface of a river, deceptive. The northern mystery. Nolia did not send an army at once. Instead, she called for Keto, a young hunter known for his sharp eyes and sharper instincts. Keto was not born into nobility. He was the son of a weaver, raised among patterns and patience. But in the forest, he moved like a whisper. You will go north, Nolia told him. Not as a warrior, but as a listener. Find the truth before fear becomes our enemy. Keto nodded. And if the truth is danger? Then return, she said, and we will face it together. The forest of echoes. The northern forest was unlike any other. It was called the forest of echoes, where sounds lingered longer than they should, and shadows seemed to remember shapes. As Keto entered, he noticed something unsettling: silence. No birds. No insects. No distant animal calls. Just nothing. He walked for hours before finding the first village. The hut stood intact, cooking pot still by the fires, but no people. Then he heard it. A low hum, like wind trapped beneath the earth. Following the sound, Keto reached the clearing. At its center stood a massive stone unlike any he had seen, smooth, dark, and faintly glowing. As he approached, the ground trembled. The stone moved. The guardians awakened. From beneath the earth emerged figures made of clay and root, ancient guardians, their eyes glowing like embers. They were not human, yet not entirely spirit. One stepped forward. You walk where memory sleeps, it said, its voice like shifting soil. Keto swallowed his fear. I come from Zaranda. Our people are missing. They are not taken, the guardian replied. They are called. Called, by what? The ground paused again. The stone behind them shimmered. By the past you have forgotten. The hidden truth. The guardians revealed a secret long buried. Zaranda was built upon an older civilization, one that had mastered the balance between nature and spirit. But over generations, that balance had been neglected. The forest was not attacking. It was awakening. The missing villagers had been drawn into the deeper parts of the forest, not harmed, but transformed. They were being taught the old ways, preparing for a shift the land itself demanded. If the balance is not restored, the guardian warned, the kingdom will wither. Rivers will dry. Soil will turn to dust. Keto knew he had to return. The queen's choice. When Keto brought the message back, the court was divided. Some generals demanded action. We must destroy whatever lies in that forest. But Nolia remained silent, thinking deeply. Finally, she spoke. If the land itself is speaking, she said, then we must listen, not fight. She made a bold decision: she would go to the forest herself. The journey of the queen. Queen Nolia traveled with only a small group, Keto among them. When they reached the clearing, the guardians appeared again. "Why does the ruler come?" they asked. Nolia stepped forward. "Because a ruler who does not listen to her land is no ruler at all." The forest responded. The glowing stone opened like a doorway, revealing a hidden world beneath, lush, vibrant, untouched by time. There, the missing villagers stood, not afraid, but changed. Their eyes held a deeper understanding, their movements in harmony with the world around them. Nolia realized then, the kingdom had grown strong, but not wise. A new balance. The queen made a decree that would reshape Zaranda forever. Part of the kingdom would return to the old ways, learning from the forest, honoring the balance between human and earth. The rest would continue as before, but guided by this renewed wisdom. The talking drums carried a new message across the land. We remember. Legacy of Zaranda. Years passed, and Zaranda flourished in ways unseen before. Its people became known not just for their strength or wealth, but for their harmony with the land. Travelers spoke of a kingdom where trees were treated as elders, rivers as teachers, and silence as something sacred. Queen Nolia grew old, but her legacy endured. And deep within the forest of echoes, the guardians slept once more, watching, waiting, ready to awaken if the balance was ever forgotten again. And so the story of Zaranda was passed down, not written in books, but carried in voices, drums, and memory, because in that kingdom, stories were not just told.